Hey entrepreneurs, for those of you who watched the original Millennial Money episodes with Robert Kiyosaki, you might remember when he said this.
This is what most people have: go to school, get a job, get a 401k, and save money. Loser. Okay. I'm doing that just to upset you guys.
Why? First, before we get into that, I'm your host, Alexandra Gonzalez. If you're new to Millennial Money, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. And also, I want to hear from you guys, so leave a comment. Let me know what you think, your feedback, or what you want the next show to be about. In today's episode, I'm going to break down Robert Kiyosaki's lesson on why getting a job is for losers in 5 digestible points. But first, I previously said that I think we and Gen Z are poised to have the greatest opportunities. And here's why. We don't trust big institutions. Our childhood was marked by the Great Recession. We watched our parents lose their jobs, their homes, their savings within the course of a few months. This economic collapse was a transformational event that shaped our mistrust of big institutions like the banks, the governments, schools. We also have access to incredible technology: computers, smartphones, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. They're all normal parts of our lives. As the first generation to grow up in the information age, we not only know how to use this technology to our advantage, we're also responsible for creating better and more innovative tools to help us get ahead. We're still young. We still have the bulk of our lives ahead of us. We still have time to learn and grow. It's not too late for us to make major financial decisions that will lay the foundation for our financial future. So yes, I believe that we are perfectly positioned to achieve previously unheard of financial success. But if we want to succeed, there are obstacles that we're gonna have to overcome. We face the same problem today as the generations that came before us. We graduate college and look around. What next? Should I go to grad school? Should I get a job? Maybe we're a few years into the job and we realize it's not the right path for us, which we've either gone through it, are going through it, or know someone who is. We're not climbing the ladder as quickly as we would have expected or making enough money to live the life we want. Unfortunately, when we're confronted with making a change, we hear the same bad advice. Go to school, get your master's degree, and find a high-paying job and work your way up. Or we might be encouraged to stick with a job we hate because we're afraid to lose our steady paycheck. To top it off, many of us are even in worse financial position than our parents. We're saddled with student loan debt. We not only have to worry about paying bills and saving for retirement, but we also have to pay off our bad debts. We're scrounging for every penny without any understanding of how to accrue true wealth. And sadly, we don't even learn this in school. We don't have the answers in school either. School doesn't prepare students for the real world. And once we've graduated, we're on our own to figure out how to navigate our finances. We focus on working for money and never learn how to make money work for us. So now I just want us to stop and think about, what kind of income are you working for? We, like other generations, are told, go to school and get a job. Basically, our parents are telling us to work for one kind of income: ordinary earned income. This is the kind of income you generate from a paycheck. It's time we challenge our belief system and question why those who work the hardest pay the highest taxes and stay poor. The goal should be to never need a paycheck, but instead work for cash flow. Now ask yourself, if you weren't looking for your next paycheck, what are ways you could generate cash flow? What talents do you currently have that can help you build cash flow? But first, let's start off by discussing the different kinds of income so you can better understand why it's said that getting a job is for losers and why the rich keep getting richer. If you remember the last episode of Millennial Money with Kim Kiyosaki, we briefly touched on the cash flow quadrant. The cash flow quadrant basically describes where your income is earned. E is employee, S is small business owner or self-employed, B is big business owner with 50 or more employees, and I is investor. As we can see in the cash flow quadrant, employees and self-employed people, those on the left side of the quadrant, make money through earned income. If you have a job and you receive a paycheck, you make your money through ordinary earned income. If you're an influencer or an independent contractor, you're also earning ordinary earned income. When you earn this type of income, you're exchanging your time for money. Earned income is a good choice for those with a lower financial IQ. The formula is very simple. If you do X job, you'll pay me Y money. In a good economy, if you do the job well, it's very stable, and you can count on a certain amount of money coming into your pocket each month. In many cases, if you do a very good job, you get a raise, and woo, you get even more money in your pocket each month. Almost everyone in the world thinks a high-paying job is the most secure thing you can have. If you, like millions of others, lost your job or had your hours cut during the pandemic, then you know this statement is a lie. When earned income is acquired by exchanging time for money, portfolio income is made through capital gains. Portfolio income is generally derived from paper assets such as stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. Portfolio income is by far the most popular form of investment income, simply because paper assets are easier to manage and maintain. It requires some financial IQ, but also carries a lot of risk. And those who have a 401k are earning portfolio income. Those with low financial IQ generally follow the herd, but often get massacred by sudden drops in the market, just like we saw not so long ago with Bitcoin and stocks. Portfolio income is also at the mercy of the economy. People who were flipping houses in 2008 came to a rude awakening when the entire housing market collapsed nearly overnight. And because a house is a slow liquidity asset, most can't sell in time to recover for their losses. Again, referencing the cash flow quadrant that we were just talking about, those on the right side of the I quadrant make money by acquiring assets that can provide consistent cash flow. Sophisticated investors invest primarily for passive income. Examples of passive income are rental properties that pay you cash flow in the form of rents, just like in the game Monopoly or in the game Cash Flow. Investing in a company that makes a profit and pays you a dividend, or creating a product like a book, like the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, or a game, Cash Flow game, that pays you money each month in the form of royalties or subscriptions. It takes a high financial IQ and patience to invest successfully for passive income. Most people have a low financial IQ, and it's not their fault necessarily. These are the same people who were told to go to school, get a job, a safe and secure job, and invest for the long term in the stock market. They're the same people that were told their house is an asset, which, if you've been following Rich Dad, you know that if it doesn't generate cash flow, it's not an asset. For example, I purchased a property in Scottsdale, Arizona. Initially, I was living in it, and it was my primary home, so it wasn't generating any cash flow. But because I had to pay for my own expenses, my mortgage, electricity, all the utilities, the HOA, the moment I started renting it, it began to generate passive income. And that's where it made the shift from a liability to an asset. Of course, at first, it's a lot of hard work. You have to find the property, study the location, find a property management company, study the numbers in the market. But once all the heavy lifting is done, your asset turns into passive income and money starts working for you, which is a very exciting feeling. And even then, once you find the property, it's not just magical and like you can go to sleep and everything works fine. You have to deal with the tenants, low seasons, appliance upgrades. But all these are problems that are there to help you build your road to financial freedom. Now let's talk about taxes, because in this world, taxes are huge. The biggest problem with that advice of going to school and getting a job is that ordinary earned income is taxed the highest. So even when you work your butt off and receive a raise or a bonus, your taxes still go up, keeping you poor. So while millennial income is on the rise, so is millennial taxation. And to be truthful, typically when you get a raise or you also increase your expenses. You want a new car, you look at higher rents in a nicer area, or you splurge a little bit more and go out on the weekends. It seems unfair, doesn't it? But the truth is the government doesn't want you working for a paycheck. And I'll explain that later, but if you want to take a break in this routine, you need to stop working for the wrong kind of income. Because the rich don't work for money. It's okay to be an employee. It takes hard work, intelligence, knowledge, dedication. But what I really want to emphasize here is that passive income is the path to true wealth and freedom. So while you work your 9 to 5, you should be also working to create your passive income. Ordinary earned income is how most people make a living. It's also why most people are considered poor or middle class. But the reason that most people are designated poor or middle class doesn't have anything to do with how much money we make, but rather how much we keep. The biggest expense for an E or S on the left side of the quadrant isn't mortgage or car payment or credit card bill. For people who make a living with ordinary earned income, the greatest expense is taxes. Robert Kiyosaki says taxes are your largest single expense. And I couldn't agree more because I'm currently facing that right now. The average person in a developed country spends 25 to 35% of their life working to pay taxes. That means more than 2 hours of every workday are dedicated to feeding our government. And 3 to 4 months out of every year are spent working solely so that you can pay your taxes. You might be thinking, I have no choice, or taxes are taxes and the government is going to take what it wants. Wrong. Taxes are based on your facts and circumstances. And remember this phrase, changing your facts will change your taxes. And here's a fun fact. The tax law is actually written to reduce your taxes. In the US, for example, there are over 5,800 pages of tax law, and only about 30 of those pages are devoted to raising taxes. The remaining 5,770 pages are entirely devoted to reducing your taxes. And if you want to learn more about this, you can check out Tom Wheelwright's page. He's Robert Kiyosaki's advisor, and he basically tells you how to build tax-free wealth and tells you the 7 investments the government will actually pay you to make. And you may not believe me about this, but go ahead and ask your own accountant of how much of the tax law in your country is devoted to raising taxes. Those that tell you it's your duty or it's patriotic to pay taxes is both ridiculous and wrong. It's actually patriotic to pay less taxes. And it's your patriotic duty to reduce your taxes by all legal means. And if you still don't believe me, think about this. If 99.5% of the tax law is written to help you reduce your taxes, then the government must really want you to do just that. People who earn ordinary earned income lose roughly about 40% of their money through taxes. Earned income is the most highly taxed of all 3 types of income. Making money through portfolio income won't save you much with your taxes either. No matter how much you make selling stock or even flipping real estate, you'll be taxed at approximately 20%. Though you would still make a lot of money, imagine paying nothing in taxes, legally, guys. And there's millions of people who legally pay little or no tax. Passive income is taxed less than both ordinary earned income and portfolio income because of the reasons found in the tax code. And I'm not going to bore you with details. However, it's worth noting that the government provides benefits for those who create jobs, the people on the B and the I side. The more jobs there are, the more workers are required to fill those jobs. The more people that are working, the more taxes that can be collected. And employees get taxed, right? But if you create jobs, you get tax benefits. Even in the S quadrant, which is my case, you get deductions for having a home office, employing people, your VAs, your car, your meals, travel. These are the same expenses an employee makes, but as a business owner, you get those tax incentives. When you invest in your financial education and you start earning passive income, you'll not only know how to make money without a job, but you'll pay less in taxes. As you recall from the last episode we did with Kim, we focused on those earning money in the S quadrant, like the freelancers and influencers, and how you can make a shift to the right side of the quadrant to the B and the I side. But Tom Wheelwright gives actually 2 tips on how you can take advantage of tax benefits while you're still in the S quadrant. You can turn your earned income from a business into a passive income. And here's how he explains it. It's not how much you own that matters, it's how much you control. So this is the rule he uses to convert at least part of your business income into passive income. All you have to do is give a part of your business to a member of your family who doesn't work in the business. When you do this, their share of the income from the business is passive income. Then we also give them a part of the real estate that has passive losses. Now, their share of the real estate losses will offset the passive income from their share of the business. Robert says, when it comes to taxes, the rich make the rules. And I believe that. The taxes reward the rich and punish the middle class. After all, someone has to pay taxes. The middle class, of course, doesn't like this, and understandably so. That is why they get so mad when they find out that the rich can avoid paying taxes, or that the rich often avoid paying taxes because they help write the rules. So if you want to be rich, you have to stop working for earned income and start working for passive income. It's as simple as that. You work for passive income, not for a paycheck. That means investing in things like real estate or businesses that will yield a paycheck every month, whether you work or not. It means taking advantage of smart tax incentives provided by the government to keep your wealth. Passive income is vastly superior to any other type of income. So let's discuss the different asset classes for passive income. Real estate is my favorite investment category for passive income. In real estate, your passive income is made up of rents. So simply put, if your rent covers your expenses, then you will have passive income. The more investments you have, or the larger they are, the higher your passive income. The types of investments you make in stocks for cash flow are dividends and the covered call strategy. If you want to learn more about these, then I encourage you to take a look at our blog titled Investing for Cash Flow with Stocks. It's on the richdad.com page. You don't have to be a business owner to enjoy the benefits of the B quadrant. A great way to create passive income is to invest in other people's businesses. As an investor, you can have control, often in the form of like a board seat, and you can help steer the course of a business to great profitability. Unlike a business owner, you don't have to manage the day-to-day or be responsible for the operating aspects of the business. You simply enjoy the profits in exchange for your capital. You don't have to quit your job to do this either, guys. You can still have your 9 to 5, feel that sense of security, but create opportunities for passive income on the side. If you're smart and you invest wisely, your passive income will eventually eclipse your earned income, allowing you to stop working sooner. People stay poor because we only know how to work for earned income. That's what we're taught. We work harder and harder, trying to get a better job, a higher wage, study more, but we'll never win. What you really need to be working for is more assets. The dividing line between many who struggle financially and those who are prospering is the line between the two sides of the cash flow quadrant. The wages of the poor and the middle class have either held steady or shrunk over the last couple of decades. Yet those on the left side of the quadrant continue to think they're living in security, all while looking at the ones who own businesses and invest as the risk takers. Often in times of distress, people give up their freedoms in exchange for what they think is security. It's telling that many dictators throughout history have come to power in times of economic crisis. Ironically, many people don't understand that freedom often means less security. It means having the ability to take risks and the understanding that our decisions have consequences that we must face and rewards that we get to actually enjoy. For example, many people believe that working a typical 9 to 5 is job security, but in reality, you are working for someone else and you're at the mercy of the company's circumstances. What's secure about that? Mass layoffs are a difficult but common occurrence in the business world that leaves many employees wondering how they'll be affected and what to do should they find themselves holding a pink slip. While the current employment market in the US is strong with low unemployment rates, this could still all change in the near future as many businesses struggle to adapt with the changing economy right now. Taking all of this into account, many US companies have already begun mass layoffs this year. Carvana cited a recession in auto sales as the main driver in laying off 2,500 employees. Reports of the mass layoff have revealed that these 2,500 Carvana employees were made aware of layoffs via Zoom. This doesn't sound like security to me. The cryptocurrency exchange platform, Coinbase, announced that it would be laying off 18% of its workforce. Their CEO, Brian Armstrong, cited a possible recession, a need to manage costs, and growing too quickly during a bull market as reasons for laying off almost 1/5 of the Coinbase workforce, leading many to wonder if this was a sign of things to come in the crypto industry at large. What we've been trained to think is security is actually the opposite. Some investors who rely on things like retirement might be hurting because their retirement isn't doing as great as they hoped. Others, like those who discovered ways to earn passive income with things like real estate, however, are thriving. The key to success is not to work for money, but to make money work for you. The great thing about passive income is that it also generates time. You can be earning money even while you sleep or spending time with your family. So instead of working late at the office for someone else building someone else's asset, your real estate property will supply you with extra cash. Instead of getting another job, the business you started by selling online will generate extra income. For example, I worked as a Rich Dad employee for nearly 5 years, and I used those 5 amazing years to study marketing, social media trends, algorithms, pain points that other businesses were facing. I used that information to help grow their marketing efforts and identified what was successful, what was working, what wasn't. And now, instead of being a Rich Dad employee, I follow the Rich Dad way and they're my clients. I offer several marketing services to different clients and get tax benefits for the people I've employed. Whereas before, when I was an employee, I didn't get any of these tax benefits. Now I'm getting these incentives for the softwares I use to create systems or the equipment I invested in to grow my business. And all the extra income I'm generating is being used to create a stream of passive income. And this is what I mean by use your employment as your training ground to build your business and invest for cash flow. You not only become more passionate about your current job and you dedicate yourself fully to helping them grow, but you also learn so much throughout all the wins and all the losses. Here's a lesson. The rich don't use their extra time they've generated being lazy or accumulating liabilities. They use their time to create more free time in the future. They use the cash flow from one investment to invest in another, building on their wealth. This is what it means to be financially free. In Robert Kiyosaki's book, Why A Students Work for C Students, he talks about how every child has a genius in them. The one thing that lights up their life, motivates them, feeds their dreams, and challenges them. Unfortunately, school doesn't recognize the genius in us, nor does it pull it out of us. And even more, school may even crush a child's genius. This is because our educational system teaches us one way of doing things, one mindset, that of the left side of the cash flow quadrant. We're taught to go to school and get a job. The problem, of course, is that at the age, we don't know what we really want to do with our lives or what we're called to do. Yet when we heard this as kids, we chased down paths that were prescribed to us, like becoming a doctor, lawyer, teacher, and other jobs in the E&S quadrant, which thankfully, we have people who are specialized in this. I'm grateful for all of those professions. We've seen how important doctors are, lawyers who have protected us, teachers who educate us. But it's not the only way to build a career. It's not one shoe fits all, and it shouldn't be presented to us as our only option. As we grow older, we're trapped in the rat race because we go to school and we go to college and we take on debt and we have to get a high-paying job. So soon we buy a house, and because of that debt, we have to keep working. Then other expenses come up like kids, healthcare, and paint us into a corner. Before you know it, the dreams of our youth are gone. They're replaced with what for some is a miserable reality of work that is not soul-giving. The school system does not help us discover our genius. And in the process of chasing other people's dreams of our lives, we often lose the genius within. When that happens, we're crushed. In Robert's book, The Cash Flow Quadrant, he talked about the importance of finding our own path of changing your mindset about life and money. It's not easy, and we can often get lost in the process. And it's not always simple to find our way back. But finding our path, realizing our inner genius, it's essential to a happy life. How about you? How's your path going? Leave a comment if you find yourself making these kind of statements. I love what I do, but I wish I could make more money. I can't wait for the weekend. I want to do my own thing. Is it quitting time yet? If so, it may be time to change your mindset and find a new path. To discover your life's purpose, why you were given this gift called life, and what gift you hold that you should be giving back to the world. Don't deprive yourself of discovering your gift, of giving the world that gift, of growing your gift to reach even more people. Use your gift as a motivation to keep on growing and moving to the right side of the cash flow quadrant. I hope you guys all enjoyed my first solo episode. Give me your feedback. Send in any reviews that you want. I'm more than open to keep on growing and learning with you guys. And I'll see you guys next time.